enough money to sort it out as well.
Well, exactly.
Taxes.
It's beyond solution now, it would seem.
Right. Oh, yeah, it's Gmtv today,
It's Gmtv today.
Yeah.
Morning to you. Start of another week.
It's Monday, the 16th of January, 2006. It's the first time I've said that.
Yeah, well, on the programme today, there are new calls this morning to scrap the child support agency. They've been calling for that for so many years, haven't they? New figures show that the amount of money owed by absent fathers is rising by £30 million a month. The figure is already enormous. Talking to the Minister in charge in 10 minutes' time, and also somebody who's been directly affected by the lack of assessment and everything else that seems to go with the CSA. Text us your views. We'll try and get them 81189.
Yes, and every time we speak to a minister in charge, what happens? Absolutely nothing, really, although it is a big job.
There seems to be a new man in charge sort of every time. When Mr. Blunkett left, he came on the programme, was so strong about it. Yeah. Now he's gone. There was no continuity whatsoever.
We've spoken to Lord Hunt before, I think, haven't we? He was on this morning.
He was new last time. He's
bit
had
of continuity.
A few months in the job now, hasn't he?
Yeah. Right. Oh, wait till you hear this. Paying for Christmas. The reason we're saying this is because you might have some credit card bills popping in through your letterbox this morning. They're due today, apparently. Horrible, as well as a tax bill.
Yeah, self-employed.
Sort of
We've got the VAT and tax as well.
People are lurching further and further into debt. That's what we're talking about this morning, and Sue Jameson is investigating.
This is the week of reckoning. When the big bills come through the door, even the helplines have crashed because so many people have wondered what to do about Christmas debt. So join us in half an hour. We'll give you some good advice on what to do about all these bills.
Okay,
don't buy an Xbox, don't buy a PlayStation.
That's right, or use cash when you can. Right, we can't solve all your debt problems here, but at least someone will be £10,000 better off by the end of the show. Now, we've dispatched Cheggers off around the country to spread a little cheer with our Cheggers Plays Shop roadshow. Today, he's in Essex.
Hey, a very good morning to you. Yeah, we asked you to email, so we could come to your workplace and bring a bit of joy into your dull working lives.
Thank you.
Oh, no, please don't thank me. I'll get so embarrassed. We're at the Essex Fire Service today. It's their chance to win, wait for it, a Gmtv t-shirt or a pen. And it's a chance for you at home. They're taking the mickey down. Chance for you at home to win £10,000. I'll see you later.
Oh, he makes you smile, doesn't he, first thing in the morning. Thanks, Keith. Let's get the news now. Here's Penny.
Thanks very much. Good morning. Today's headlines. 1/3 of a million families are still waiting for help as the Child Support Agency plunges further into crisis. We've had our Christmas fun, but a record number of us can't afford to pay for it. And you don't have to be a superstar to have a nip and tuck. There's more evidence today that the government agency set up to make sure that children of ex-couples are properly provided for is failing them on a huge scale. New figures suggest that the amount of money which has not been collected by the Child Support Agency has trebled in the last 9 years. But the agency's fate could finally be sealed. Rachel Harrison is at Westminster. Rachel.
Yes, good morning. Well, it's no surprise that CSA is hitting the headlines again. It was set up in 1993. It was due to be scrapped in 1998. And here we are in January 2006, and we're still talking about it. But it appears that a report out this month could be the final nail in the coffin. The report was commissioned and run by the chief executive, the man who runs the CSA himself. And it's expected to say that he will actually call for the CSA to be scrapped. It's due to land on Tony Blair's desk. And these figures that we've been exclusively given will give you some idea why. The Liberal Democrats have found figures that show that £3.3 billion of money still hasn't actually been paid to the families that need it most, and out of that, £2 billion is unlikely to ever be recovered. Now, the Liberal Democrats have tabled a debate in the House of Commons tomorrow. They're pushing hard. They want to see something done about it, and speaking on the programme earlier today was the MP David Laws, and he says he wants the Inland Revenue to take control.
Often the Child Support Agency doesn't find out the information about the absent parents' income. Now, the Inland Revenue already has a lot of that information because it has to collect it to take tax off us. So it makes far more sense to have that collection in one agency.
The shocking thing here is as well, we've heard it time and time again, but as I stand here today, 300,000 applicants still haven't even had their claims processed. So if you're a mother at home who's been waiting for a cheque for not just months, but years, there could be change on the way.
Rachel, thanks very much, and we'll be speaking to the government minister responsible for the CSA in 10 minutes' time. As we've been hearing, it promises to be another tough week for the Education Secretary Ruth Kelly after reports of more cases of sex offenders working in schools. Gloria Di Piero is in Downing Street. Gloria.
Good morning to you, Penny. Yes, the Prime Minister still insists that Ruth Kelly's career is absolutely safe. That's despite the fact that over the weekend it emerged that she personally had cleared a sex offender to work within our schools. Well, this week she faces Parliament. She'll explain how she wants to see a single database to have all those sex offenders on them so this confusion doesn't arise again. She'll also expect to strip ministers of their vetting responsibility, and crucially, she will tell us precisely how many sex offenders are working within our schools. Even one is too many, according to Laura Warren of the National Confederation of Parent-Teacher Associations.
What concerns parents the most is that seemingly, and that may be part of the misinformation, the Department for Education and Skills and Ruth Kelly seem unable to say, yes, we have a list, yes, we know it's these set of teachers, be it 10, be it 110, whatever that number is, it's too big a risk for our children.
Now, no one is questioning Ms Kelly's personal commitment to child safety. She, after all, is a mum for herself. People are questioning her competence, though, and that's important, not least because she's responsible for convincing Labour MPs to get through crucial school reforms later in the spring.
Gloria, thanks very much. A man has died after an arson attack which killed his wife and injured their teenage daughter. Alex Cochrane died yesterday, 3 days after the fire at their home in Brooklands in Greater Manchester. His wife died at the scene. Their 16-year-old daughter is still in hospital. Police have begun a murder inquiry. Detectives have released CCTV images of the last few moments before solicitor Tom Ap Price was murdered. The 31-year-old was stabbed just yards from his home in northwest London as he returned from a night out with friends. The pictures show him walking through Kensal Green tube station. The festive period has resulted in an alarming number of people needing debt counselling. One helpline went into meltdown when all its phone lines jammed, with a record number of callers afraid that they could go bankrupt. And finally, more and more people, men as well as women, are going under the knife in the quest for physical perfection. The number of plastic surgery operations increased by more than a third last year to more than 22,000. Breast enlargements are still the most popular procedure for women. Nose jobs are on the increase for men. 6 minutes past 7, I'm back at past. Here's what's happening where you are.
Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News from ITV Granada. First today, a man has died in hospital after a house fire in Greater Manchester that killed his wife and left his 16-year-old daughter injured. 45-year-old Maureen Cochrane died at the scene of the blaze in Brooklands early on Thursday. Police have launched a murder inquiry after it was discovered the fire was started deliberately. The funeral of a 14-year-old boy who died in Britain's worst cycling accident in North Wales takes place today. Thomas Harland was killed with 3 of his clubmates when a car ploughed into the group in Abergele on January the 8th. His father, John Harland, suffered a broken leg. Yesterday, more than 200 cyclists turned out for a memorial bike ride to remember those who died. The prosecution in the trial of 2 men charged with manslaughter following the deaths of 4 railway workers is due to open today. The men were killed when they were struck by a runaway wagon at T-Bay 2 years ago. Matt O'Donoghue reports.
Mark Connolly and Roy Kennett are each charged with 4 counts of manslaughter. It was here in T-Bay in South Cumbria back in 2004 that the 4 railway workers were killed. They were carrying out work on the track when they were struck by a freewheeling wagon which had broken loose from a depot several miles up the line. Despite attempts to stop it, Gary Tyndall from T-Bay itself, Colin Buckley and Darren Burgess from Carnforth and Chris Walters from Morecambe all lost their lives. Connolly and Kennett were working in the depot at the time when the wagon broke loose. The trial is expected to last 10 weeks.
More than 200 British holidaymakers who were stranded in Florida after their flight to Manchester was diverted due to a drunk passenger have finally landed in the UK. They were forced off the plane from Mexico when a man began arguing and had to be restrained by cabin crew. They stayed in hotels in Orlando before landing in Birmingham early this morning. The Queen has approved the new cap badge of the North West's new Army Infantry Regiment. All officers and soldiers in the Duke of Lancaster's regiment will wear the insignia. The new badge has been unveiled ahead of the controversial decision to merge the King's Own Royal Border Regiment, the Queen's Lancashire Regiment and the King's Regiment. Well, that's it for now. I'll be back at 8:05. Time now for a look at the region's weather.
Pantene Pro V Winter Rescue. Forecasting a great hair day, whatever the weather.
It'll be a mainly dry but fairly cloudy start to the day, with showers expected by lunchtime. It'll brighten up through the afternoon though, although watch out for more rain by this evening. Top temperatures today of 8 Celsius, that's 46 Fahrenheit.
Almost 7:10, it's Monday morning. Hope you have a good day and a good week. There's shocking new evidence this morning that the Child Support Agency is even more of a mess than the government has already admitted. Now, the amount of money the agency has failed to collect has tripled to more than £3 billion. Now, that number is almost incomprehensible. It's £3,000 million which is owed, and that figure is rising by £30 million a month, leaving tens of thousands of families struggling. And that money, it should be noted, is owed by mothers as well as fathers. A few texts on that this morning. So, yes, mums are trying to get away with something perhaps as well as fathers. In a moment, we'll be talking to Lord Hunt, the Minister in charge of the CSA. But first, for a personal point of view, joining me from her home in Cheshire is Alison Davis, who has just won the right to sue the CSA. Alison, good morning. I know we've spoken before, but I think since we last spoke, the right to sue the CSA, how has that come about?
Because I took the CSA to court when they refused to give me the money they'd let accrue by not properly investigating the amount my ex-husband owed me.
And you had repeatedly told the CSA with reports and with information, you had informed them that he actually had 2 incomes, not 1, but it was the assessment which took so much time, wasn't it?
That's right. The assessment was incorrect. They kept coming back with a nil assessment, and I went everywhere. I went to the independent case examiner, my MP. There was nowhere else for me to go but to start court action.
And what do you hope to achieve with that court action?
Well, I hope to achieve that they owe a duty of care. The CSA incredibly stood up and said they do not owe us a duty of care. They are not responsible for any mistakes they make. Therefore, they can do whatever they want.
Would you call for the scrapping of the CSA?
No, I think they've spent far too much money on their computers, and they can make it work, but they have to get enforcement right, and they have to do it correctly. They are arrogant in their attitude towards us.
And now, of course, 8 years on since you first started to make this claim, your children are how old?
17, 14 and 13. And it's appalling. If I hadn't persisted that there should be some income, I would have had nothing. They kept saying there was absolutely nothing.
I know they gave you a gross inconvenience payment of £150 back in 2004. That was a little patronising, wasn't it?
Oh, terribly. Yeah, and the money they do pay out, they don't declare it in accounts. It's appalling.
I know the experience that you've been through. Had a look at some of the details. We wish you the very best of luck with your continuing court action. I know that you're a terrier with this and you will not let it lie. Alison, thank you for joining us this morning. With us now from our studio in Birmingham is the government minister responsible for the CSA. This is Lord Hunt. Lord Hunt, very good morning to you. We've heard it described as a shambles by various ministers of the Labour government, including the Prime Minister over the past year or two. Still, people like Alison aren't getting their money. What's being done that's new?
Well, it clearly faces problems, but it is managing to raise £600 million a year, and that's going to over 500,000 children. But there is a problem, there's a real problem about some parents evading their financial responsibilities. The CSA staff are often caught in the middle of warring parents, and some parents would do anything, almost anything, to evade their responsibilities, changing jobs, going abroad. So they do have a very difficult job to do. What we've done, we've appointed a new chief executive, Stephen Geraghty. He's undertaking a very serious review of its operations, and we'll be announcing the results of all this work to Parliament very shortly.
No, well, we understand that it's an emotional situation, but the government, the CSA, is charged. They put themselves in charge of putting themselves in the middle and sorting it all out. It is their responsibility to keep morale up with the staff at the CSA so that they're not arrogant, they're not patronising. And how long should people wait after an assessment, if they get one, before they start getting the money in? I mean, these are huge problems. It's not really fair to blame the people at the centre of all this for the problem, is it?
Well, clearly the CSA needs to be as efficient, as sympathetic as possible, and I'm not here to criticise CSA staff because I think they do have to work in a very difficult situation. But if you have some parents who will do almost anything to evade their responsibilities, that does present a big challenge. And that's what we're looking at. It's why we want to step up enforcement. It's why we want to help parents who are looking after their children get financial responsibility, and it is working for many people. You know, £600 million a year is being raised, and 500,000 children are benefiting.
What about cases? I mean, I don't know whether you had the benefit of listening to Alison Davis just a moment ago, but she's been pursuing a claim for 8 years. She told them that the father responsible for the children had 2 incomes, and still they didn't act. Again and again, they didn't act. So you can sit there and say it is working, and I'm sure in some cases it is. But for thousands, possibly tens of thousands, it's not. And we might be looking at £2 billion worth of unrecoverable debt at this point. That cannot be acceptable.
Well, the agency is raising about 70% of what is owed. The debt represents those parents who evade their responsibility. And sometimes it is very, very difficult for the agency to track those people down. That's why we're looking at how we can strengthen their whole enforcement regime, so in fact they can get to these kind of parents as quickly as possible.
Well, Lord Hunt, what about David Laws, the Liberal Democrat MP, author of a report out today, who says possibly the Inland Revenue might be in a better position and have more information on the people who should be giving money over after an assessment?
Well, I'm all for seeing how these agencies can cooperate together, how they can share information. What I don't think is easy to do is simply pick up the whole of the CSA, put it into another agency and say everything will be all right. Because the issues we're talking about, the need to pursue parents who don't want to pay, that will remain whoever is in charge.
Will the CSA be scrapped?
All of this is speculation. I'm not going to say anything about its future till we report to Parliament. We'll be doing that very shortly.
OK. Lord Hunt, thanks so much for joining us this morning in our Birmingham studio. If you'd like to find out how you can get advice about the CSA, how to complain, all that sort of stuff, log on to our website, gm.tv. And I'm sure, sadly, we will return to this subject on GMTV very shortly.
No doubt. We've heard so much from all of you this morning, and a lot of you saying, what about the single dads left on their own, many of whom have never received a penny from female partners who've done a bunk.
There is a balance.
Yeah, absolutely. Although in the majority of cases it is the dad, which is why we always cover that. Anyway, if this man can't cheer you up, then no one can. Look at that little face, and we've sent it to cheer up workplaces up and down the country this morning.
Indeed, he's in Essex this morning. He's got details about how you can win £10,000. So those are the very well-dressed extras.
Very good morning, Chair. Welcome to Essex! Yeah, we're at the Essex Fire Service. This is the boss. This is Nigel.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. What are they like? What are they like as employees? Are they all right?
Fantastic. Best station in Essex.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it,
number one station.
This is the employees over this. Are they trouble management? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Okay, competition time to cheer up the workplace. We thought we'd play a little bit of Checkers Plays Pop, right? So the idea is ask you questions on pop music. If you get them right, you win a whole host of GMTV goodies as modelled by the one and only Brian Adams. Okay, quick. First question for the workforce. Name 3 bands with the letter B. Joe, you're the spokesman. Go on.
That's Chris's favourite.
Yeah.
Bananarama.
Bananarama, that's 1. Blue. Blue, yes, that's 2.
Yeah.
Yes. Frost, that's 3. Okay. Question for the workforce. Name 3 bands with the letter X. Oh, no, you've run out of time. OK, over to the employees. Name the well-known Christmas hit by the band Slade. Merry Christmas, everybody. D. Buddy, well done. OK, name the Easter hit for the band Slade in 1973. Oh, absolutely useless. You win all the goodies. Okay, your chance to win £10,000 at home right now, yeah, by 9 o'clock this morning. And Nigel, you've got the question for everybody at home. Go on.
Okay, here we go, everybody. Which children's TV character is a postman?
Is it A,
Bob?
is it B,
Pat?
or could it be C?
Peter.
Well done. He could be a television presenter. All right, if you want to take part, you want to rob the Gmtv bank, here come the details.
You can dial 09068 100 100, or you can text your full name and address to 81149, or you can enter via the website. Lines close at 9 AM, and we'll tell you who the winner is by the end of the show.
Fantastic. Hey, look, he's the star of the show, so hand back.
That's all for us now. See you later.
Wait,
Nigel, you're rubbish.
You're hired.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Get him in.
Thank you very much. He's so brilliant, old Keith, isn't he?
Starts the week with a bang, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And the lines are open until 9, as Keith said, so you need to get on the phone right now.
OK, still to come this morning. I don't know if you remember the ITV comedy drama Christmas Lights last year. The antics of Robson Green and Mark Benton drew a huge audience, over 11 million. And it's returning to our screens tonight, although it's up against Celebrity Big Brother and Life on Mars. Tough, tough evening.
Tough. It is tough.
Beautiful
Weekday
show,
nights are at the moment. And the women who had to put up with all that male nonsense, if you remember it, actresses Nicola Stevenson and Sian Reeves, and they're both here after this.
Find out what it feels like when the job you're looking for finds you. Employers search Monster every day looking for the right candidates. But you can't be found unless you add your CV. So add your CV to Monster today and let employers find you.
To unblock plug holes, don't use bleach because it's just too thin, even the thick ones. But Mr. Muscle's Sink and Plug Hole Unblocker is a very thick gel, so it sinks through the water and clings to the clog to clear the blockage in no time. Mr. Muscle's Sink and Plug Hole Unblocker loves the jobs you hate.
Hello, injury lawyers for you. I've had an accident. Am I entitled to compensation?
That depends entirely on the circumstances, madam. I'd have to investigate what...
Do I have to pay anything up front?
Does she need to sign a credit agreement?
No, definitely not.
Will I receive 100% of the compensation?
Yes.
Injury Lawyers for You make sure all our people give nothing but honest, professional advice on your personal injury claim. Call our team direct on 0845 345 4444 for a no loan, no credit, no catch service.
Nice tie.
Now there's a new fruit-flavoured cough pastil that kids can take here, there, all over the place. Hall's Children's Cough Pastils. Take it anywhere relief for chesty coughs.
Policing the streets, keeping people safe. You have to be prepared for a lot. Okay. But to do all that as a volunteer, then go back and do a regular job? I couldn't.
Okay, imagine putting yourself in your toddler's shoes for the day. Hard work, isn't it? That's why we're here to help, by introducing Growing Up Milk. It's full of Cow & Gate's expertise, as well as essential goodies like vitamins and iron to help your growing toddler. Cow & Gate Growing Up Milk.
Where's the phone charger?
In the glove box.
What are these?
Sweetheart, I've never seen them before in my life, honestly.
Well, it's your car.
Sweetheart, I don't know where they came from.
You're not going to be sleeping with me tonight.
Now Lenore makes bedtime feel so good, you'll never want to share your bed again. New Lenore Sleep Sensations with extracts of lavender and chamomile.
Later on this morning, we've all the insider gossip from the brand new Dancing on Ice. Plus, does the winner of Soapstar Superstar plan to leave Soapland? We have the exclusive. Fit Club's Harvey Walden on who he thinks will win this year's Fit Club. Which royal is the fussiest eater? And how does Prince Charles like his sarnies? That's this morning, 10:30.
More than 11 million of you tuned in to watch us last week. That would be nice, wouldn't it? No, actually, more than 11 million of you tuned in to watch the comedy drama Christmas Lights, starring Robson Green and Mark Benton. And now they're set to carry on their rivalry. A new series of Northern Lights starts on ITV1 tonight. And really, the stars of the show are here this morning. Nicola Stevenson and Sian Reeves. You'll know if you saw it before Christmas. They play sisters Jackie and Pauline, who basically, it's such a simple premise, this, isn't it, really? It's about families and male stupidity, really, isn't it? Isn't it?
Female tolerance.
It's how women get on and actually do everything while men go out, they work, and then, but it's all about male rivalry, ego, and a bit of bonding as well,
We're going to get some phone calls about that. They're really lovely boys, aren't they? They're lovely, the lads, and what they portray is...
stupid.
They're not that stupid, are they? Have I missed something? No, there's slight intricate, it was more intricate than that, isn't it? I mean, you do sort of see right into their relationships and why they love each other so much, and you know how the balance is in the relationships, really.
But it really is lovely, and as I say, well, really it's about families.
Yeah, and it's about nice couples, isn't it? That's why I really wanted to do it, because it's not about shouting matches and falling out and getting divorced and all that. It's about real family, tiny little family dramas that happen to us all the time, you know, overspending on your Visa card, you know, all those little things that are massive to us.
Nice, normal people.
Like Robson says, it's the first character that he's played in the whole of his career that is faithful, that hasn't had an affair. Because Colin and Jackie love each other so much. They've been married for like 16 years or whatever, and it's still like they're having a love affair.
Do you know, it's the relationship that everyone would want to have, isn't it?
And the wife or the husband that everybody would like to have. That's what I was told, actually, in my interview. You know, we want her to be, you know, both of us, I think, both of the women, you know, the wives that everybody would dream of having. I hope that it looks like that.
Except, in this series, aren't you having a bit of marital problems?
It starts with me having marital problems and that we don't have sex anymore, and I'm upset about that and think that he wants to leave me, which is every woman thinks that, don't they?
Oh, a lot of women will identify with that, don't worry.
If you're not being close to each other, then you just think, right, he's met somebody else and he's leaving me.
Whereas at the same time, next door,
they're having
Jackie's batting Colin off and going, God, it's all you ever think about, isn't it?
I know, because they can't keep their hands off each other despite having children, jobs, the lot. Let's have a look at a sneak peek of what you can look forward to tonight.
Colin!
What? Oh, wow, that's lovely.
You look fantastic, Mum. And you, Auntie Polly?
Oh, thanks, love. What do you think?
Yeah, lovely, sweetheart. It's not a bit short.
It's meant to be. Why, do you think it's too short?
See, we've all been there as well.
That is a brilliant look. You're in trouble here, Les.
I mean, he couldn't have said, and that keeps going on. Everyone says that's a bit daring, Pauline. And it's quite a brave dress for Pauline. She's not that sexy and she's not that proud of herself, and it's always
trying to get
Jackie
his attention.
that's pushing me on. But I'm trying to be great for him, you know, because he's now a boss. He's been promoted in the story, hasn't he?
And actually, that is a bit of the storyline tonight as well, isn't it? We don't want to give any of it away, but that sort of work rivalry is creeping into things a bit tonight as well.
I think it's really special. I mean, I know we're up against celebrity
because it's so ordinary. It's so
Don't
ordinary
talk
that
about
everyone can identify with it, and that is the key to it.
And likeable. Hopefully we're all
I think really it's a bit of a likeable. relief to watch something that's not about people getting murdered or people
Yeah.
having affairs.
Yeah.
It's just, it's nice and it's heartfelt and it's funny.
And well acted by you two, and Robson and Mark too. I'm looking forward to it, actually. I might have to tape Celebrity Big Brother tonight.
Closer to reality
Plus
than
it.
that laboratory rat experiment, CBB.
Oh, I'm hooked on it.
Don't,
I
you
am
have to
too.
be watching your own programme.
Oh yeah, that's right, that's right.
We're going to watch ourselves, Nick.
Not again.
Lovely to see you. I know you're on later, so you'll have a chance to talk a bit more then. Lovely to see you both. Pleasure.
Let's have a look at the weather picture to start the week. Claire's here.
Gmtv weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello, good morning. Bands of rain coming in from the Atlantic. That means if you are heading out today, remember to take an umbrella, because if it's not raining now, it will be some point during the day as the rain gradually moves in. If we head through the clouds, it's quite thick in places, allowing some rain this morning. But on the horizon, there are some brighter skies as well, and that will gradually creep in across Scotland and Wales today before more rain later on. The rain coming and going through the day, rather windy as well, wind coming up from the south. Quite a strong wind, particularly on this eastern side through this morning. So it's rather damp across some places this morning across the southeast. This is a batch of rain here, again fairly light and patchy. Some brighter skies coming in through the morning across Northern Ireland, Western Scotland, Wales, the West Country, and then this other band of clouds and rain coming in for this evening, this afternoon, this evening. And that means for Western Scotland this afternoon it's going to be rather cloudy with outbreaks of rain, again quite windy. Temperatures 6 or 7 Celsius, but across central and eastern areas you'll be the last to see the rain in Scotland, and that means some brighter skies through this afternoon. For Northern Ireland it's a similar situation actually, that rain coming in, that cloud thickening all the while. Temperatures probably up around 5 or 6 Celsius. Isle of Man then seeing the rain through the afternoon. For the border regions, I think you'll get some brighter skies before the rain comes in around rush hour. And we'll hang on to some damper conditions down towards the northeast. That's the rain which is clearing away through this afternoon before the next batch comes in overnight. So for Wales then, Pembrokeshire, Ceredigion, again, that's where you'll see the rain later on this afternoon. Some drier weather for central and eastern parts of Wales. And then for the Midlands, this area of cloud and rain, which is currently across more western areas, will gradually move across the country, across the Midlands through this afternoon, down towards East Anglia and the southeast. And that means you'll see a fairly damp afternoon. Temperatures in the southeast 8 or 9 Celsius. Watch out for that wind, still quite strong through the afternoon. Central southern England again seeing a brighter window before the cloud gradually increases for rush hour, and you can see that rain gradually moving in through this afternoon across Devon as well as Cornwall, and also Channel Islands seeing 1 or 2 showers as well. Tuesday into Wednesday, better day on Tuesday, particularly for Scotland and Northern Ireland, before the next batch of rain gradually sweeps in from the northwest, and that means as we head through the latter part of it, fairly mild, quite windy, more rain to come. Here's your summary. For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
Yeah. Right, Torval and Dean on later on. Look forward to that. Right now, though, here is Penny with the news.
Thanks very much. Good morning. There's more evidence that the government agency set up to make sure that children of ex-couples are properly provided for is failing them on a huge scale. New figures suggest that the Child Support Agency has not collected more than £3 billion, and 1/3 single-parent families are still waiting for their cases to be assessed. The minister in charge of the CSA told GMTV that reform is on the way.
The debt represents those parents who evade their responsibility, and sometimes it is very, very difficult for the agency to track those people down. That's why we're looking at how we can strengthen their whole enforcement regime, so in fact they can get to these kind of parents as quickly as possible.
There's mounting pressure on the Education Secretary, Ruth Kelly, this morning after more reports at the weekend that convicted sex offenders are working in schools. Ms Kelly is believed to be preparing a major change in the way that school staff are vetted, with her department relinquishing the role. Opposition MPs are still highly critical of her handling the matter, though. A man has died after an arson attack which killed his wife and injured their teenage daughter. Alex Cochrane died yesterday, 3 days after the fire at their home in Brooklands in Greater Manchester. His wife died at the scene. Their 16-year-old daughter is still in hospital. Police have begun a murder inquiry. More people are trying to buy their first home. Experts believe that's because smaller properties are now cheaper and buying bricks and mortar is still a good investment. Michelle Morrison reports.
This 2-bedroom flat is the first foot on the property ladder for this couple. They've held back from buying before because of high prices, but finally feel like it's the right time for them.
It seemed to us that this looked like a good time to buy, that prices seemed to be fairly stagnant, and it seemed like if we made an offer it would be more likely to be accepted.
It's a pattern that's being echoed across the UK as first-time buyer confidence in the market is reawakening. In September, 25% of those searching for property were first-time buyers, but that figure has steadily risen to 37%.
Look into any estate agent's window and you'll find more smaller properties than this time last year. Now, oversupply for this kind of property means that prices for them will be lower, and that's good news for first-time buyers.
But it's not the same news for all other buyers searching for a larger home. Another report out today shows that the average cost of a house is on the increase.
And finally, more and more people, men as well as women, are having plastic surgery. The number of operations increased by a third last year to more than 22,000. Breast enlargements are still the most popular procedure for women. Nose jobs are on the increase for men. Although that is an eyeball, obviously. 7:34, I'm back at 8. Here are Fiona and Andrew. I just thought that people might think that was a weird nose.
No, it looked very good here, isn't it? Right in the middle of the third eye.
Your nose is all right, actually, isn't it?
It's quite noble. It's quite...
No, but it's not one... I've got an odd nose, which really I should have got...
It's not very big.
No, but it's all... What's there is crooked.
It's not your nose,
it's from my athletic
How's your
day.
back, by the way?
Oh, I don't want to go into that.
You're
But
right.
you wouldn't... Well, it's ridiculous. I've never been in so much pain in my life, and that includes, ladies, having children. I went into Starbucks with the children and my husband, and it was so busy in there. There were only children's chairs left, so we all sat on children's chairs. And I forgot, I think, how low down I was. Yeah. And I got up really quickly, and I couldn't move.
No.
I had to go by ambulance. I've never been in an ambulance in my life to hospital. Can you believe it? I was on some very strong painkillers.
I know. And you're still not taking my advice, do you, to go and see, are
No,
you?
I'm going to go to... He's got a man, apparently, that deals with backs.
Yeah,
if you've got a problem.
Well, if you haven't got a back, you haven't got anything, have you?
No,
Anyway.
It's frightening.
Very short as well.
Yes,
if you didn't have a good back.
And you know, I felt awful by the end of last week because I kept having to get people to do things for me all the time, and I really got an insight. Because I really got an insight into how awful it must be if you are sort of chronically ill and you... It was just, anyway, I'm very lucky.
During Strictly Come Dancing, could have saved you a couple of weeks.
No, well, and a great deal of humiliation, but never mind.
We're going to be talking about debt in just a moment. The cost of Christmas is coming home to roost for many. All those bills beginning to land on our doorsteps, I'm afraid. We look at what you can do to stay financially afloat.
And Jackie Campbell showing you the sights of Sri Lanka, including curry for breakfast. Nice.
It's gonna be good. Sword, more sword, mister.
Which celeb is battling to lose weight? Find out in this week's Star Mag.
At Thomson, you'll now find our web prices on the high street. And for the best deal on summer 06 holidays, book direct, as we promise to beat the price if you find the same Thomson holiday elsewhere. Thomson, web prices on the high street.
It's a love-hate relationship. Love cooking on it. Hate fighting. Burnt on grease off it. Ooh. Now I just leave it to Fairy Power Spray. Every day, simply squirt, wait and wipe. Love it.
Fairy Power Spray takes burnt-on food away every day.
Hey, we have new neighbours. Oh no, they're the new Colgate 360. The Colgate 360 has an advanced tongue cleaner and tapered bristles clinically proven to help remove more plaque and up to 2 times more bacteria for a whole mouth clean. Oh no, we're history. New Colgate 360 for a whole mouth clean.
Have you ever looked at a brunette the way we do? At John Frieda, after years of salon experience, we created brilliant brunette shampoos and conditioners with extracts of silk, cocoa and crushed pearls. Get incredible multi-dimensional shine from the very first shampoo. Now, seal in dazzling shine with the ultra-light Shine Shock Glosser. Brilliant brunette from the professionals at John Frieda.
These rye pizza minis are to die for. They have loads of full-on flavours, including tantalisingly tempting sweet chilli. And they're only 3% fat.
You're on in 5 minutes, Miss Britton.
Showtime. Ryvita Minis. Big taste, mini waste.
When the family is suffering with congestion and blocked sinuses, Olbus is there for everyone. Olbus Pastels for blocked noses and sore throats. Olbus Inhaler for on-the-go noses. And original Olbus Oil to look after Mum too. There's a whole family of Olbus products, so everyone can have the power to breathe naturally. And there's a gentle formulation for little noses, Olbus for children. Only Thompson Local has Local Plus, a section that includes ideas for days out. So now you can find everything from paintballing to dry cleaning. Thompson Local goes further than you think.
Blistex Relief Cream. Sublimely soothes sore, cracked and chapped lips. Can you feel it? Blistex. Bring lips to life.
Which Hollywood star is having her worst week? Find out in this week's Star Mag.
Tunatic, the website. Ready Saturday.
Talking about Sri Lanka now. It was devastated by this tsunami, of course, in Boxing Day 2004. It hit the island, well, it's just over a year ago now, hasn't it? But the tourist industry is now back on its feet, apparently. Visitors are beginning to flock back.
Yeah, Jackie Kabler went to beautiful Burrawella in the southwest of the island for a beach holiday, apparently with a difference.
Described as the pearl of the Indian Ocean, Sri Lanka's palm-fringed white sandy beaches, rolling green hills and cascading waterfalls promise everything you could want for a paradise getaway. I've come to the southwest region near Colombo, where stretches of golden deserted beaches are framed by cinnamon plantations, palm trees and luxurious hotels. Around 11 hours to fly home from the UK, so you can end up with jet lag. What better excuse then to have an Ayurveda, rejuvenation and relaxation treatment? Revered by the Sri Lankan people, the ancient healing practice uses the island's rich herb and plant life to cure and revitalise. Most of the resorts here have an Ayurveda spa and they're well worth a try. Tragically, the Sri Lankan people suffered greatly from the tsunami in 2004. You might remember these astonishing pictures taken by a guest of the Eden Resort Hotel. And this is the same view today. Thankfully, the hotel has now been fully renovated and is back to its former glory. And 1 year on, the tourist industry here in Sri Lanka has been totally rebuilt. The sun is intense in the afternoon as we're near the equator, so you need to look after your skin here. The traditional best time to visit is October to March, and there are plenty of other things to do if you don't fancy relaxing on a beautiful beach all day. Sri Lankan food is like its people, colourful and diverse. The term curry refers to a variety of subtle flavours and is the most popular local dish. In fact, in Sri Lanka you can have it for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Here at one of the many spice gardens we can see where all these exciting flavours come from. So these are the hottest chilies in the world, is that right? Could I taste one, or is that not a good idea?
I think at the moment it's not a good idea. Yeah.
What's this one then?
It's cinnamon.
So the bark makes a cinnamon stick?
Yeah, stick.
Ah, I see.
Down the beach at Koskada, they're trying to save some of the marine life.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Eggs laid by turtles on the beach used to be scooped up by locals to eat, but now they're collected and reburied until they hatch.
Oh, crikey, it's a wiggly one. Are you going to be okay out there? Are you excited?
The baby turtles are given a chance to grow in a protected environment until they're released into the sea.
Off they go, and they just head towards the sea. We have to do this at sunset, so the predators aren't around, because otherwise hawks and so on
We'll try and eat them.
Bye! Good luck!
What a wonderful world.
We travelled to Sri Lanka with Virgin Holidays and stayed at the 4-star Eden Resort and Spa. A 7-night stay costs from £759 per person, staying on a bed and breakfast basis, and includes scheduled flights with Sri Lankan Airlines and transfers. Other tour operators offering similar packages include Somac, Hayes and Jarvis and Jewel in the Crown.
But only go if you can afford it. And the reason I'm saying that is today is the day where most of us will be reminded about Christmas. Your credit card bills are due to land today. Not nice on a Monday, is it? And already there's been an alarming increase in the number of people needing debt counselling. Last week, one helpline, in fact, went into meltdown. I know a man who has contacted that helpline. His name is Robert Jenkins. He's here this morning. And the reason Robert is here is because he has racked up almost £30,000 in credit and store card debt in just 3 years. It's easy to do. And Melanie Wright's here too. She's a financial expert from the Sunday Mirror. Morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Robert, you've got such a lovely smile for all the problems you're in financially, really. How did it get that way? £30,000 nearly.
We began with a financial health check at our bank. We changed mortgage provider and reviewed our insurance, and that was all good. Had we stopped at that point, we would have been fine, but of course we were then offered plastic, and very foolishly I took it.
And not only plastic, they offered you a platinum card.
That's correct, yes. It's not just a few £100, you're talking about a few £1,000 as a credit limit.
And what's your job, Robert?
I'm a caretaker.
Yeah, school caretaker. And I'm sure, you know, with all due respect, it's a great job to have, but I wouldn't imagine why you would have a platinum card, because as you say, the level of spending on that is...
I mean, they do have a use credit cards. You can buy things online and you can buy things over the telephone. So, and there is a sort of status symbol attached to it as well. But the problem is that your spending patterns can change.
Yeah.
And it's far too easy to buy one more thing and pay for it all on plastic.
And it's not very good for your status when you end up having to phone debt helplines,
right,
is it,
yes.
Robert? So what's the situation you find yourself in now? How have you managed to work it out?
Having realised our level of indebtedness, we contacted National Debt Line, which is run by the Money Advice Trust. Crucially, they're a free and impartial organisation. They're very professional, very friendly, they're non-judgmental, and no matter what your level of debt is, they offer you a lifeline. When you're in debt, it's like being stuck in a swamp and surrounded by predators, and they offer you a lifeline and a way out to get control of your finances and move on with your life.
Are you still with the same bank? I don't want you to name it, but we should really. I really feel like saying it, but I'm not going to. Are you still with them?
We are, but we don't use the account at the moment. We're still in the process of negotiating a debt management plan, which is best for us. But there are other options.
All right. Well, Robert, thanks for telling us your story. And as I say, it's nice to see you still smiling despite everything. Melanie, Robert used the word predators here, and I'm sorry, these banks are predators. What were they doing giving Robert a platinum credit card?
Well, this is it. I'm sure you've had piles of posts on your doormat as well,
every
offering
day.
you credit. We all get this temptation every day, and that's why it's so easy. That's why these debt lines are swamped, because people are taking out more and more credit, and then they're using further credit as a way to clear some of their existing debt. So it spirals out of control, and you're left in a real hole.
Because they are luring us into it. I mean, you get these letters, as you said, every day, 0% interest, and they make you feel, actually, well, I'd be stupid not getting one. And then look at the trouble it leads you into.
Well, that's the thing. I think earlier this year, some lenders have announced that they're going to share more data, so share more information about people's debt. So I think that should be more widespread, because why should people be offered, say, up to 50, or get into the situation where they're £50,000 in debt through credit cards when they're on an income of about 20 or 30,000? It's just not realistic, and I think the banks have to be more responsible.
And Robert has done exactly the sort of casebook example of what you should do if you get into this sort of trouble, hasn't he?
That's exactly right. You have to keep talking to people, talk to your creditors, tell them you're in trouble, talk to National Debt Line or the Consumer Credit Counselling Helpline. But that's the thing, don't go to one of these debt management companies that do charge a fee to help manage your debts, because again, that's another way of getting into trouble.
Predators, you were right, Robert. Thank you very much indeed, both of you. And the best advice of all is don't get a credit card, I guess, but they are essential, aren't they? So how do
We
you
owe
get...
£1,000 billion in this country.
Yeah.
Consumer debt is £1,000 billion.
Well, banks are loving that, aren't they? Anyway, if you're drowning in debts, I do hope you're not, but lots of people are at this time of year. All the information on how to tackle it on the website.
Richard Arnold has been skiving for weeks now, but we've relocated him. He can't find his way into the studio. He's stalking the corridors, and at least now he has some friends.
Join me in a moment when I'll be talking you through my new capsule wardrobe for the spring, plus retucks after the holiday season too, with a couple of bottles of Chenin Blanc and a packet of B&H. Oh, plus Robson Green on the telly as well. It's going to be fabulous.
Holidays in Mallorca from £19 per person per night, including flights. Thomson. Web prices on the high street.
Morning, Jamie. Morning, Mum. My Jamie's always on the go. He just never stops. So I give him something wholesome that helps him keep going.
New Tiger Power from Frosties. Whole grain energy with less than a teaspoon of sugar per bowl and no added salt. New Tiger Power. Whole grain energy for non-stop kids.
The new yogurt drink from Petit Filou. With calcium to help bones grow stronger. From Yoplait.
Hands up who wants all the benefits of omega-3. Hands up who wants it to taste great. Now there's new Bassett Soft and Chewy Omega-3. It's packed with vitamins too and tastes delicious. Bassett Soft and Chewy Omega-3 with vitamins. A delicious way to take Omega-3.
I'm Charlie Brooks, and this is my before and after workout. I dropped 2 dress sizes in 6 weeks. See if you can too with the before and after workout.
Starting in Monday's Sun, win a 3-bedroom Florida villa in the sun. That's right, win a villa in the sun. Only in Monday's Sun. We love it.
Ooh, trapped wind and a bloated tummy, but I've settled it fast with Wind Settlers easy-to-swallow gel caps.
Wind Settlers bring express relief from trapped wind and bloating.
Suffering with a cold or flu? Keep your Lemsip Max Strength capsules handy when you're out. Lemsip capsules, here to help.
When the family is suffering with congestion and blocked sinuses, Olbus is there for everyone. Olbus Pastels for blocked noses and sore throats. Olbus Inhaler for on-the-go noses. And original Olbus Oil to look after Mum too. There's a whole family of Olbus products, so everyone can have the power to breathe naturally. And there's a gentle formulation for little noses, Olbus for children.
Labels. Ours tell you the amount of salt in your soup, fat in your fish pie, and unfortunately, calories in your clotted cream. New lit labels from Tesco. Every little helps.
Gently clear baby's scalp with Dentrinox Cradle Cap Treatment Shampoo. Gentle and effective.
I noticed that my teeth were yellowing, but I didn't want to choose between whitening and protection. I tried Colgate Total Plus Whitening. Soon, not only were my teeth whiter, but my whole mouth looked healthier.
Colgate Total Plus Whitening is clinically proven to help restore the natural white of teeth.
I could see the difference.
Colgate Total Plus Whitening, complete 12-hour protection.
It's my choice.
The best way to say goodbye to weight you don't want is with a calorie-controlled diet.
Adios.
Hello.
Adios. Adios.
But there's a natural herbal remedy that's been traditionally used to help. Try Adios for yourself. What have you got to lose?
Britain's biggest breakfast is now breaking new ground.
Gmtv is the first major British TV programme to broadcast live on a mobile phone.
Watch us every morning on your 3G mobile.
Each phone operator has different costs and conditions, and you can check those on our website.
Gmtv on your mobile phone, a broadcasting first.
Lotus Thirst Pockets with technology, sponsors of TV Pick of the Day.
Welcome home.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
We missed you. How was Aussie?
How was Aussie? Back down under on the Pacific Rim again. I went to a Kath and Kim wedding, believe it or not.
Trust you! Oh,
Unbelievable.
It's a breathtaking opening line. Got a lot to follow.
So is that part of the world. I got to tell you, I actually went to a suburban wedding in Melbourne, and it was Kath and Kim. They were all wearing fascinators, and there was a Mars bar wedding cake. A Mars bar wedding cake.
No
$30 a head, tinned ravioli, and getting married under a Hungry Jack sign, which you'll know is the home of the Whopper down under.
Exactly.
Absolutely fantastic. And went up to Lizard Island as well. If you get a chance, go up there. Got a bit of cash in your pocket, go up to the northern Queensland and do a little bit of snorkelling. Fabulous.
You'll end up there, won't you? You'll end up there.
Jurassic. I may do one day. Probably after today.
I can't imagine you snorkelling. I can't imagine you doing ordinary things. Do you shop and...
Well, I wear all-in-one rubber suits. Yes. Often. How very dare you? Let's move swiftly on. Coronation Street. And something's happening in the front room and Sally's not happy. Take a look.
Someone's coming. Quick, put some clothes on. Rosie? 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 What's been going on? How could you? How could you after everything we've been through? Get out. Get out now!
What's that?
She's on cracking form
What's
tonight.
that singer doing? Acting?
Richard Fleishman.
Yes, he was
Craig.
very
Absolutely
good.
wonderful. I've just passed his mother on the stairs, actually going to the green room. Sue Jenkins, who had a few
is
tears, I'm
gorgeous.
told. But he's a real talent. I saw him doing a bit of Elton John at a charity benefit a couple of years ago, and he was absolutely superb. So no surprise that he won.
Northern Lights next.
You've mentioned the lovely girls and interviewed them, I gather. Sean Reeves, Nicola Stevenson, aren't they grubby? I went up on set, I can't be around them. They disgust me. Robson
lovely
Green, on
kids.
the other hand, is on top form, dancing with the boss's wife. Take a look.
Certainly knows how to enjoy yourself, Valerie.
Nicola and Sean are back on LK today.
No doubt with their stilettos in the air.
Yes, lovely family entertainment. And what about The Thick of It?
The Thick of It, we'll mention it briefly. I gather it's a sensational new comedy set in the corridors of power.
Yeah, wobbly cameras.
All of that.
Wobbly cameras.
A little bit too much for you, is it?
Starring George Galloway, no?
At your time of life, no.
No.
Oh, I've missed all of that. Of course, Big Brother's on. I've got to get into that tonight.
Nothing's
you
happened.
will.
They're all
Wait
being so
till you
sensible.
see it.
I've never seen anything like it in my life. It's absolutely incredible. It's like an experiment with humanity.
But can I just say, Big Brother's big mouth, that Russell Brand is,
he is brilliant. I did a show with him when he did every link in a yoga position and he slunk around. He is talented.
Yeah,
and
he
very,
is
very
brilliant.
funny.
Russell, you...
It's horrible having you back. Where's
Listen,
Polly?
if you like Russell as well, let us know, because he is brilliant, isn't he?
He's fantastic.
Right, let's go and get the weather news from Claire Bear. She's not Bear, she's cuddly. Here she is.
Gmtv weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello, good morning. Bands of rain moving in from the west. What that means, if you're heading out today, remember take an umbrella, some sort of waterproof, because if it's not raining now, it will be. We can see why the thick cloud covering much of the UK, giving some patchy rain across Wales as well as northwest England and also Scotland, a little bit further east as well. But there's also, as you can just see on the horizon there, some bluer sky, and that means a window of sunshine before the next batch comes in later on in the day. So for this morning, it's rather windy, particularly breezy across this eastern side here, southerly winds, and that's where we're seeing some clouds, seeing some patchy rain here, some brighter weather coming across Northern Ireland, Western Scotland, eventually moving into the West Country as well as Wales. And then this other area of cloud and rain, it's going to be heavy at times, that's going to be moving in through this afternoon. So by this afternoon, it'll be reaching parts of Western Scotland, but hopping over the Highlands, that's where we should see a little bit more in the way of brightness, and we'll hang on to a few showers across the far north, temperatures 6 or 7 Celsius. Again, a strong breeze. Heading further south across Northern Ireland, where you will see some dry weather for a time, thickening cloud all the while though, bringing some outbreaks of rain through the afternoon. The rain then eventually reaching the Isle of Man, and through rush hour, that's where we'll see it across the central lowlands, border regions, as well as northern counties of England. Places such as Yorkshire seeing some rain this morning, then a dry period, and then some more rain later on today around rush hour. The rain then coming in across western parts of Scotland through this afternoon, some drier weather ahead of it, but for the Midlands, some damp conditions with that rain. The rain gradually moving across to East Anglia during the latter part
part of the day. Again, it splits some spots, temperatures around 8 or 9 Celsius, but you could see the odd heavier burst from time to time, rather breezy here. Central southern England, again, seeing a window of drier weather before more rain comes in around rush hour, and you can see that just coming in there through the afternoon across Cornwall as well as Devon, and some patchy rain for the Channel Isles. Now, Tuesday's a better day all round, really, despite the fact we'll see some rain first thing across the east. That should clear off the scene, and then some dry conditions, also some brightness, and then another band comes in from the northwest, spreads its way southeastwards through the day. That means it's going to be very mild on Wednesday into Thursday. Come Friday, though, turning a bit cooler with more rain to come. Sadly, here's your summary. For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.
Left in a coma for 3 weeks, a father of 4 speaks out this morning after his attacker is jailed for just 12 months. Morning, everyone. You're watching GMTV today.
It's approaching 8 o'clock. It's Monday, the 16th of January, 2006.
Well, when the Prime Minister appeared on the programme last week, he talked of his vision for a safer Britain. Respect was the words he used, and this morning a father of 4 who was brutally attacked speaks out for the first time after his assailant was jailed for just 12 months. Didn't show him too much respect.
Also this morning we're going to be talking about inch loss. Almost time to find out who's heading down under. Jenny Faulkner has gone back to where it all started, Burr Island in Devon.
Good morning, Andrew. Yes, this is where it all started 5 years ago, although what a contrast for our finalists this year. This year they're going to be jetting over 9,000 miles that way to Perth in Western Australia. Find all about 2006's Inch Loss Down Under in about 20 minutes' time.
We met all the finalists last week. I think voting begins tomorrow.
Oh, does it?
3 of the 5 go or something.
And then Friday we know who's going to.
That's right.
Oh, good. All right. Well, you all loved dancing on ice on Saturday night. 11 million tuned in, and Andrea was on. You'll know if you saw it. It says she surprised us with her skating there. Didn't surprise any of us who knew she'd be good. She's already back practicing today, as you can see. Morning, Andrea. How was it?
Oh, Fiona, you of all people will know exactly how I was feeling on Saturday. I was every part of my body was convulsing with nerves, but I got through to the second round, and that's what counts. Yippee!
Good! Yeah, you're not first out. That's always the dread everyone has.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you did very well. The outfit was wonderful. I think, is that the James Bond studio up there?
Is that what?
They filmed James Bond up there, I think, didn't they? It's a huge place you're up there. Is that an ice rink, or is that Elstree, like Pinewood or whatever?
Yeah, we're in the George Lucas studio. Yeah, it's a James Bond studio, so nothing but the best, I'll have you know.
Yes,
well, we look forward to seeing more of it, and of you, and of Torval and Dean later on. Oh, showing off now.
Yeah, no, she's all cool. She's all cool and cocky until Saturday night. There she goes. Bye.
Right, let's get the news. Here's Penny.
Thanks very much. Good morning. Today's headlines: 1/3 of a million families are still waiting for help as the Child Support Agency plunges further into crisis. A record number of us have plunged into debt over the festive period. And you don't have to be a superstar to plunge into having a nip and tuck. The government agency set up to make sure that children of ex-couples are properly provided for is failing them on a huge scale. New figures suggest that the amount of money which has not been collected by the Child Support Agency has trebled in the last 9 years. Rachel Harrison is at Westminster. Rachel.
This morning, Penny, no surprise to hear that the CSA is in crisis again. It was set up in 1993, it was due to be scrapped in 1998, and here we are in January 2006, and we're still talking about it. Now, one of the things we're expecting out this month is a report which could be the nail in the coffin for the CSA. It's a root and branch report. It's been carried out by the man that actually runs the CSA, the chief executive, and he's due to hand it in to Tony Blair, and the speculation surrounding that report is that he himself will call for the CSA to be scrapped, and if not that far, he's certainly going to be calling for tougher measures, including the possibility of tagging parents who don't pay. Now, just to give you an idea what state the CSA is in this morning, we've been given exclusive figures by the Liberal Democrats that show that £3.3 billion still hasn't been paid to parents and children who are in desperate need. That figure's trebled since Labour have actually come into power, and out of that figure, £2 billion is unlikely to ever be recovered. Now, the Liberal Democrats are pushing hard on this issue. They've tabled a Commons debate for tomorrow, and they want answers. They're actually calling for the Inland Revenue to take over the collection of payments. But speaking on the programme earlier, the Minister for the CSA, Lord Hunt, says there really is no easy solution to the problem.
The debt represents those parents who evade their responsibility, and sometimes it is very, very difficult for the agency to track those people down. That's why we're looking at how we can strengthen their whole enforcement regime, so in fact they can get to these kind of parents as quickly as possible.
Now, if you're a parent at home that's still waiting for a cheque to come through the door, or if you're one of 300,000 people that still haven't even had the application process, the good news is that there will be, I'm sure, change on the way.
Rachel, thanks very much. It's going to be another tough week for the Education Secretary, Ruth Kelly, after reports of more cases of sex offenders working in schools. Gloria De Piero is in Downing Street. Gloria.
Good morning to you, Penny. Well, the Prime Minister still insists that Ruth Kelly's political career is safe. That's despite the fact that over the weekend we learned that she had personally cleared a sex offender to work within our school. Now, this week, she will go to Parliament and explain how she intends to shake up the system. She wants to create a single sex offenders database to get rid of all the confusion over these various different lists. She'll also expect to remove the vetting rights of ministers to vet sex offenders from working within schools. And crucially, she'll tell us the precise number of sex offenders that currently work within our schools. It's the apparent chaos within the system, though, that's causing Laura Warren of the National Confederation of Parent-Teacher Associations concern.
What concerns parents the most is that seemingly, and that may be part of the misinformation, the Department for Education and Skills and Ruth Kelly seem unable to say, yes, we have a list, yes, we know it's these set of teachers, be it 10, be it 110. Whatever that number is, it's too big a risk for our children.
Now, no one is questioning Ruth Kelly's personal commitment to the safety of children. She, after all, is a mum of 4 herself. People are questioning Ruth Kelly's competence, though, and that's very damaging given that she runs the Education Department, one of the key priority areas for the government.
Gloria, thanks very much. The American military has just confirmed that one of its helicopters has been shot down in Iraq. Witnesses say they saw a rocket hit the helicopter in an area north of Baghdad. There's no word on what's happened to the crew. The number of people in debt and seeking help after the festive period has reached record levels. Sue Jameson's at the Consumer Credit Counselling Service in West London. And Sue, they're struggling to cope with the number of calls coming in.
Coping with several hundred calls a day more than this time last year. They're answering about 80%.
Obviously having problems with that link to Sue Jameson. More people than ever before are having plastic surgery. Last year, the number of men and women having cosmetic surgery increased by 1/3. Here's Sarah Gatenby.
For celebrities like Sharon Osbourne, the benefits of cosmetic surgery speak for themselves. For others, the outcome isn't always pretty. Love it or hate it, the British Association of Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons carried out 22,000 procedures last year.
I think people know a lot more about what plastic surgery can achieve for them, partly because the media has plastic surgery on lots of programs these days, as well as a great deal of availability of information on the internet.
The number of men seeking physical enhancement may have doubled, but it's women who still account for 90% of all procedures. In our search for something more permanent than makeup to hide the wrinkles, face, eye and brow lifts are all on the increase.
The top procedure for women remains the breast enlargement, with the number of boob jobs increasing by 51%. For men, it was the nose job, with figures rising almost 60%. The worst sort of job is a botch job, and the best way to avoid that, say experts, is to use a reputable surgeon.
Time is 7 minutes past 8. That's it from me. Here's what's happening where you are.
Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News from ITV Granada. First today, a man's died in hospital after an arson attack at his home in Greater Manchester that killed his wife and left his 16-year-old daughter injured. 45-year-old Maureen Cochran died at the scene of the blaze in Brooklands early on Thursday. Police have launched a murder inquiry after it was discovered the fire was started deliberately. The funeral of a 14-year-old boy who died in Britain's worst cycling accident in North Wales takes place today. Thomas Holland was killed with 3 of his clubmates when a car ploughed into the group in Abergele on January the 8th. His father, John Holland, suffered a broken leg. Yesterday, more than 200 cyclists turned out for a memorial bike ride to remember those who died. The prosecution in the trial of 2 men charged with manslaughter following the deaths of 4 railway workers due to open today. 4 men were killed when they were struck by a runaway wagon at T-Bay 2 years ago. Matt O'Donoghue reports.
Mark Connolly and Roy Kennett are each charged with 4 counts of manslaughter. It was here in T-Bay in South Cumbria back in 2004 that the 4 railway workers were killed. They were carrying out work on the track when they were struck by a freewheeling wagon which had broken loose from a depot several miles up the line. Despite attempts to stop it, Gary Tyndall from T-Bay itself, Colin Buckley and Darren Burgess from Carnforth and Chris Walters from Morecambe all lost their lives. Connolly and Kennett were working in the depot at the time when the wagon broke loose. The trial is expected to last 10 weeks.
More than 200 British holidaymakers who were stranded in Florida after their flight to Manchester was diverted due to a drunk passenger have finally landed in the UK. They were forced off the plane from Mexico when a man began arguing and had to be restrained by cabin crew. They stayed in hotels in Orlando before landing in Birmingham early this morning. The Queen has approved the new cap badge of the North West's new Army Infantry Regiment. All officers and soldiers in the Duke of Lancaster's regiment will wear the insignia. The new badge has been unveiled ahead of the controversial decision to merge the King's Own Royal Border Regiment, the Queen's Lancashire Regiment and the King's Regiment. Well, that's it for now. I'll be back at 5 to 11. Time now for a look at the region's weather.
Pantene Pro V Winter Rescue. Forecasting a great hair day, whatever the weather.
It'll be a mainly dry but fairly cloudy start to the day with showers expected by lunchtime. It'll brighten up through the afternoon though, although watch out for more rain by this evening. The top temperatures today will reach up to around 8 Celsius, that's 46 Fahrenheit.
Hello again, 10 minutes past 8. Look at any of the papers this morning and as usual they don't make good reading really. More evidence pointing to just how common acts of extreme violence are in Britain today. Overnight police have released pictures of a lawyer at a train station in London just minutes before he was stabbed and killed. Thomas Ap Rees-Price was just 31 and he was due to be married. Well, this latest case of violence comes just a week after Tony Blair launched his new Respect plans designed to combat antisocial behaviour.
It's part of giving local communities the powers to act when their life is being made hell by a small number of people who are abusing the rights of others.
Well, that was Tony Blair speaking on this programme just last week, but we have a man here who knows all too well about antisocial behaviour and unfortunately very violent behaviour. This is Phil Carroll and his wife Jean is clutching onto his hand for dear life there this morning, because I know this is a huge deal for both of you, because since, when was it, May last year, wasn't it, Phil?
May the 13th.
Yeah, which is etched firmly on your brain.
Yes.
You were attacked outside your own home. Just tell us what happened.
I don't remember what happened.
Because of the injuries you received?
But I've been told what happened. I was doing some work in my car at the back of the house with my brother, and there was about 40 youths at the end of our back alley, and they were coming in behind gates which is supposed to be private land, and they were drinking there and taking drugs and everything, and I asked them to move on, and they became very abusive to me. They did move on, and next thing there was bottles and stones thrown at my car, and I went up to see what was going on, and out of nowhere this lad hit me, and that was it then.
You fell to the ground, hit your head, and...
I hit it on the back of my head. They've done an operation on the back of my head. They've done an operation on my front, and I'm still waiting for a metal plate to be put on my scalp.
So you've got more major operations to come.
I've got major, yeah.
And they've already taken a part of your brain away,
They've took the front left lobe of my brain, which makes me just think bad things all the time.
Really?
I can't bring any goodness forward and stay with it, really. No.
Well, listen, thanks for coming down today, because people need to know what is going on. So many of you will already know, because you'll have encountered these sort of feral youths who drink, take drugs, wonder where their parents are. Jean, can you let us know how Phil has changed? Because he can't remember much of who he was before this. So.
Yeah, oh, well, he has changed a lot. I mean, people look at him now and think, oh, you know, he's doing well, he's back to normal, but he's not. You know, there are a lot of things. It's still, like he's walking, he really has to concentrate on that, and his temper is not like it was, you know, and just he's no interest in anything, you know. He used to be interested in what the kids are doing, and, you know, he'd be out messing about doing things with them, and he's just got no interest in anything.
You've got 4 children. I know 2 of the girls still live at home, don't they?
Right, yeah.
How have they coped with seeing Dad change?
It's hard. It is hard for them. I mean, some of the times when he'd get, you know, annoyed and angry at first, you know, it would be hard for him. But we know now he doesn't mean it, you know, and he just can't. And he's working on it, and he's getting better at, you know.
And you're getting more used to it as well, so the situation will get better, hopefully.
It is getting
However,
better.
this guy, whose name, again, you will never forget, will you, despite what's that, is it Michael Kuba, 15 at the time, when he punched you and knocked you to the ground. His parents are set in one of those wretched hoodies as well. His parents are said to be devastated by what has happened, and they really feel for you. They want to apologise. What do you feel toward them?
I don't know. It's the biggest problem is the parents. The parents are just letting the children run wild on the streets. They're out till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then...
And these are 15-year-old children who are at school. They're children.
13-year-olds, you know, and the parents just leave them to, you know, why aren't the parents controlling them and, you know, looking after them? And they are just running wild, and they're getting worse.
Okay, so these words from the parents, they're all very well, but the family lives not that far from
Less
you.
than 2 minutes walk away.
Wow. Have they made any effort to apologise?
No.
No, we've never seen or heard a word from them at all.
Not even received a
The only thing that we've ever seen of them is, you know, a film going into the court, and what you see there isn't, you know, it doesn't look like a family.
Fingers up, didn't they?
Yeah,
Which
they
is
don't
really
look like a
respectful.
family that is sorry for what happened, you know. That's the only thing other than that, they could have walked past us on the street and we wouldn't have even known, you know, who they were.
And he's got a 12-month sentence, which probably will be about 8 in the end.
Yeah.
That's a waste of time, that. I mean, it's been 8 months since my attack, and we've got a long way to go. So we're going to be serving a longer sentence than he is.
Oh, you will,
and I'm the innocent one. Well, we're the innocent ones.
And you're lovely, and it's really nice to see you this morning.
Thank you.
All the very best. And as you say, you'll be living a sentence for a long time. He'll be out in about 8 months. Hope his family are happy about that. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
8:15 is the time. Still to come, Keith in Essex with the question, which you could win £10,000 if you give the right answer to. And just 3 of our 5 Inchloss finalists will be going to Australia. You should perhaps know that now. We met all our potential Inchloss recruits last week. They were all lovely. You'll be voting tomorrow. On Friday we'll announce who's going. Telling you all about it after this.
Take a short break at Centre Parks. Call 08705 200 220 for your free DVD and brochure, or visit centreparks.co.uk.
Overdone it this Christmas? Then why not try the Special K Drop a Jean Size 2-week challenge? Over 2.5 million people tried it last year. 2 meals, 2 bowls, 2 weeks. Have Special K or Crunchy Nut for breakfast and again for lunch or dinner for 2 weeks, and you too could drop a jean size.
Meanwhile, a mouth ulcer causing a lot of suffering. A job for Soothagel. Must tackle the cause of pain. Soothagel seals the ulcer under a long-lasting shield which protects against pain and can help it recover fast. Soothagel seals out pain, seals in healing.
You need an itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, TV-easy magazine that you'll buy for the first time today. She could find out what was on her telly. She could plan for the night with great ease. She could pick out the best weekly programs. She could find enough soap news to please. It was an itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, TV-easy magazine.
Last year, we taught more than 5,000 kids to swim. That's why we're first choice.
If juggling your life becomes stressful, Calms is an effective natural remedy that helps you stay in control. Stress, don't let it hold you back.
Blistex Relief Cream. Sublimely soothes sore, cracked and chapped lips. Can you feel it? Blistex. Bring lips to life.
Relieve teething pain with fast-acting Dentinox teething gel. Effective and fast.
You may be controlling your diabetes and your blood pressure, as well as your blood glucose and your weight. But now, leading UK heart doctors recommend that your cholesterol should be 4 or below. Otherwise, you are increasing your risk of heart disease or stroke. Cholesterol can help. Call 0800 056 8692 for your free booklet about diabetes, cholesterol and what to do next.
The real beauty of a dolphin bathroom is the service. And in our January sale, absolutely everything is half price, including full installation. From taps, tiles and towel rails, to showers, spa baths and wet rooms. For all the bathroom at half the price, visit Dolphin's January sale. For a showroom near you, call 0800 626 717 or visit dolphinbathrooms.com.
Gmtv has been there from the very beginning and followed Will Young's amazing career from pop idol to top of the charts. Where others have failed, Will has succeeded, and those hits just keep on coming. Will Young, live tomorrow on Gmtv.
Now for all of us hit with the January work blues, Keith Chegwin is out and about, bringing some much-needed sunshine and all-important cash. Sort of eerie, isn't it, seeing his head float around the screen? But there we are.
Decapitated.
Yes, he's spreading joy to the British workforce. That's what he says anyway. He's with the fire service in Basildon. Morning.
Oh, good morning, Jen. Here they are. I can't tell you, what a cheery bunch. This is the cheeriest bloke on site.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
And listen, he's taken over again, isn't he? Hey, I believe you have quite a talented lot here today.
Oh, very much so.
OK, we've got 3 talented people. So, Steve, play the fanfare, please. So, lunch, our first contestant is this man here. What's your name?
Chris.
Chris. Very popular with the workforce here. Chris, what are you going to do for the nation?
I'm going to dance a jig.
OK, dance a jig. Away you go. Oh. This man just doesn't care. Get off. Right, our next contestant, this little man here, he's dad's in the fire service. That's Pete over there. What's your name? John. John, what are you going to do for us, John? Look, oh, a thumb wiggler. Oh, I've never seen that on TV before. Fantastic. Thank you, John. And last but not least, this man here, what's your name?
I'm Andy.
Andy, what are you going to do?
I'm going to try to sing.
How long have you been with the fire service?
Couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks, that's all. Away you go.
Is this the way to
Oh, he didn't get a chance. Hey, he's the new boy on the force. All right, listen, we'll let the workforce judge that. But in the meantime, competition for you at home to win £10,000. It's a lot of money. It could be yours by the end of the show. Nigel, give them the question, please.
OK, here we go then. Which children's TV character is a postman?
OK, is it A?
Bob.
Could it be B?
Pat.
Or C?
Peter.
The choice is yours. Good luck to you all. If you want to take part, here come the details.
You can dial 09068 100 100, or you can text your full name and address to 81149, or you can enter via the website. Lines close at 9 AM, and we'll tell you who the winner is by the end of the show.
Fantastic. Good luck to you all. Remember, lines close at 9 o'clock, so you haven't got a lot of time to get dialing. Give them the question once again. Go on.
Okay,
we like him.
Here we go. Which children's TV character is a postman?
Is it A?
Bob.
Is it B?
Peter.
Or C?
No, the wrong way round.
This was your chance to be a television presenter. Is it A, Bob? Is it B, Pat? Or C,
Peter?
Thank you, Nigel. Excellent. OK, look, it's up to you. Is it 1, 2 or 3 the winner? 1, 2 or 3? 2. It's the man who could wiggle his thumbs. There's the GMTV goodie bag. Do me a favour for the people at home, wiggle them once again. Oh, thank you. And look, he's only been in the fire service 2 weeks. That was your initiation ceremony, wasn't it?
Cheers, boys.
We had no idea that was going to happen. What?
A certificate for Keith here for being such a good egg at Basildon Fire Station.
Oh,
well done, Keith.
Thank you very much. Cheers. We've had a lovely morning. We've got more to come later. See you in a moment.
That was better than an episode of London's Burning
That's it.
wasn't it? It's brilliant.
Pew, pew, Barley McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, Grub. Thank you very much indeed to one and all down there.
That was
Yes.
Trumpton.
That was a while ago, wasn't it? Camberwick Green and all that, wasn't it?
Giving your age away now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right, we're off to Elstree now.
Let's do it.
Which is where what was set? Did we manage to find out in the end?
That was the George Lucas set, and I
Right.
thought that they did James Bond in there as well, but
they
it might be
didn't.
slightly different.
But they did do...
They'd laid some ice in there.
Dancing on Ice. I keep wanting to call it Strictly Ice Dancing because it is a rip-off, a complete rip-off, isn't it? It was very good.
like
Lots
that,
of
aren't
people
they?
watched it.
And Andy Peters was struggling a little
I
bit,
didn't
wasn't
see
he?
the performances, but I saw the results show at the end, and our Andrea did rather
Yes, she
well.
did.
Let's join her now. Oh no, we're going straight to Torvill and Dean, where everyone's skating around there. Where are Torvill
Gold
and Dean?
medalists in
There's
Sarajevo,
Bonnie, who did
84.
really well.
Marvellous.
Hello, Andrea, help us out here.
It's quite cold here this morning, so I'll come over and join you. We're just, I'm practicing here this morning with Bonnie Langford, but of course, if I can stop, are you impressed with this? That's called the T-stop, I found that out. Of course, with Jane and Christopher, Torvill and Dean, as the rest of the world know them. How do you think we're doing?
I think you're all doing great. We were very relieved that everyone skated well on Saturday.
Not as relieved as I was, because I was the only one who nearly fell over.
You just had a little bit at the end, but you got it together. Everything we taught you came out.
You see, this is what it's like. Christopher takes the credit no matter who's skating.
That was great.
Now, viewing figures were fabulous as well, weren't they?
Apparently a lot of people tuned in, so yeah, it's great. Yeah.
It's a lot of people to have over for coffee.
Well, I have to say, it's a lot of people for me to owe M&Ms to, because I sent an email out to everyone at work saying, if you vote for me, I'll give you an M&M. So hopefully I'm going to need bagfuls by the end. Is it going how you thought it would?
It's really exciting. And you know, the thing is, I think we've all become a bit of a family, and we're working together to produce the best. But ultimately, at the end of the day, everybody's in competition with each other, and that shows, you know, when we have to say goodbye to somebody at the end of each show.
Well, what I have to say is that when Tamara actually left at the end of the programme, there was this moment of instant relief that we didn't go out, and all of us felt so desperately sad because we'd lost one of our friends, and I think that's going to become more and more apparent as it goes on.
How did you feel when they said you're safe tonight, Andrea?
Oh, I felt great. Shall I call Bonnie over? Bonnie, do you want to come and join us now? Bonnie's training with her partner, Matt. I have to say, she's got probably one of the most handsome partners. We've all been much jealous.
Present company accepted, right?
Of course. How do you think you did on Saturday?
Oh, I don't know. It's all a bit of a blur. It's funny coming back here on Monday because suddenly it's real.
Yeah.
Because I keep thinking, no, that didn't happen.
But you did fantastically well. Have a look at this. This is Bonnie in action. Fiona, you must have been impressed because you know how scary this all is.
Impressed? I felt sick, actually.
And Bonnie whacked her head when she did this in practice, didn't she? So that was very, very brave.
Did you hear that? They're just saying how brave
How
you
brave
were.
I am. Yes, and foolish, I think. No, I can't hear very well, but yes, I think brave and foolish. It's rather, in fact, I feel rather scared now because we did do so well, thank goodness, but there's something to live up to, a huge amount to live up to.
Got some more scary stuff coming
I
up
was
too,
going to
right?
say, thank you.
Just make me feel really good. I think we're all just so relieved here, and like I say, you know what it feels like. As long as you get that first one under your belt, but now we all feel like the work really starts because we've only got a week to learn this next routine. So fingers crossed there could be carnage on Saturday.
Fingers crossed there won't be.
You know what I mean.
Won't be, yeah.
Do you know, I think Bonnie actually looks younger. than she did last time I saw her, don't you think? It's actually, you look really good on it, Bonnie. Can you hear us?
It's the ice, it's the morning, it's this lovely underlighting, the whiteness of it. It's great. I think maybe we should keep this up, Fiona.
You were absolutely brilliant on...
I've got to go home and do the ironing.
I wonder if by the end of the show we are actually going to see Torvill and Dean dancing together once again. Now, wouldn't that be something?
Oh, we have to wait and see.
We've been doing a little bit. We make our little entrances every week, so that's been fun for us working on.
Yes, but we want more now you've teased us, you see.
Oh dear, oh dear.
We'd like to do more too, but the old body's a little bit achy after training so much.
All right, well, it's lovely to see you all there this morning. And Andrea, well done. You did brilliantly. And obviously, Bonnie, you did brilliantly too, but you can understand why we're a bit biased.
Of course, I understand, but thank you for including me in this whole thing anyway. I'm much honoured.
Well, you deserve it. You were outstanding. Thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Bless you.
Good
It's only
luck with the
'cause of
day's
Matt, Fiona.
training. Yeah, he's rather nice, isn't he?
Bless you, Fiona, thanks. He's gorgeous.
Just see him in a t-shirt.
He's mine, I'm so sorry. He's
Why
mine.
couldn't Brendan have been like that? Then I'd have been brilliant.
Oh yeah, it was all Brendan's fault. It was all Brendan's. I blame him for the back as well. I'd sue him.
Yeah, he's put my back out.
Yes, he has. I'd sue him through the
civil suit, that would sort him out.
Yeah, that would be just perfect. Landing on your doorstep this morning. Morning, Brendan. Now we're going to be talking about 5 more people who are going to be putting themselves on the line after the break. We're talking about inch loss. We met them all last week. Who will be going down to Australia? It'll be 3 from 5. See you in a couple of minutes.